Hey everybody, it's Mike and welcome to Chip Damage. As you guys will come to know, I'm a collector of many things, but my biggest passion is game collecting. So I thought today I'd show off some of my more rare and weird and unusual games that I've come across throughout the years. So starting with a true hard to find gem is Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. Now, as many of you know, the 32X was a very failed add-on for the Sega Genesis, released in 1994. Not a lot of great games on it. It wasn't marketed very well, but there was one unique Sonic game to it, a Sonic game if you can call it that, and that is this, Knuckles Chaotix. Now, this game is rare as a cartridge alone. Set you back anywhere between 90 and 120 bucks last time I checked, but to find it the way I did, complete case and manual, is exceptionally hard. And as far as I know, this game has never been re-released legally in any way. It is strictly stuck on the 32X, and I think that's just weird. If Sonic the Fighters can get a HD re-release on PS3 and 360 with online leaderboards and multiplayer, I don't see why Knuckles Chaotix can't be preserved on some kind of digital storefront, so that's kind of a shame. Another one of the more rare collector's editions that I just happened to come across was the Dot Hack GU Rebirth Volume 1 Collector's Edition. I got this randomly at a GameStop around the time of its release in 2007, so it was a very rare, very late PS2 game in 2007. Dot Hack never really took off the way I think Bandai Namco wanted it to. However, I found the original 4 games and this second trilogy to be very fun. There's a lot of character. It's not the deepest RPG, but it's got fantastic music, and I'm glad I came across this collector's edition when I did, because these go for quite the pretty penny now. It came with, obviously, the game, part 1 of the game, a Haseo figure, and something called a terminal disc, which was a DVD that had background information on the world and the characters of the game, and the more you played, the more it unlocked. That if you were to purchase Volume 2 and 3 following this Volume 1, even more information would be unlocked on that. This is quite hard to find at this point. I don't usually see this at conventions or retro stores, whether that be to lack of demand. Like I said, the Dot Hack GU trilogy was not super popular, or there just aren't that many in the wild. This is something you're not going to come across too often. And moving right along, is probably my new, in terms of actual number of units produced, rarest game, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Now, this was a New York Nintendo Store exclusive limited edition of the game that came out in 2014. I'm lucky to live close enough to New York City to be able to have gone and gotten this. I actually got the last one that was available. Now, there's not really that much to it. Obviously, it comes with the game, but the main draw of it is right here. Comes with a little blue shell, the demonic blue shell that we all love so much as Mario Kart players. And I'm glad I got this. This is something that you don't even see on eBay or Amazon that much, just because people who got this, the few hundred that got this, would probably prefer to keep it. That and the Wii U not being super popular. Who's going to want to spend $1,000 on a Wii U game when there's a better version of said game on the Switch? Regardless, I'm glad I got it. It's something you'd never see anywhere. So no regrets on purchasing that one. So let's just move all of that to the side. And now on to the most valuable games I own, starting with a PS2 gem, and that is Rule of Rose. Now, this is a bizarre game, and according to the website that I use to track prices of video games, pricecharting.com, this is the most valuable, if not in the top 3 most valuable North American PS2 releases. It is a survival horror game, and as far as my memory serves, this was actually pulled off the shelves in certain countries due to child endangerment laws. Some of the enemies in the game are children, but from what I've played, it's not that gratuitous. It's more of a psychological horror. It's certainly weird. It's not that much fun, but at this point, it's highly sought after, never got any re-release, and Atlas is kind of notorious for their low print runs of games. I bought this in a Blockbuster that was closing down for $15. I got it complete, case and manual. And at this point, I severely doubt if it's ever going to get a re-release, so I'm glad I have my hands on that one now. Now, moving on to a Hideo Kojima masterpiece, Snatcher for the Sega CD. Now, this is after the Metal Gear games on the NES and MSX in Japan, but before the Metal Gear Solid series. And I love Kojima. Metal Gear Solid is my absolute favorite series, despite what's happened with it in recent years of it being a pachinko marketing device. But when I saw this game in a shop, it was going for about $300, and that is a lot of money now, and it was even more when I was younger when I bought this. But since I had never seen it in any stores or cons before at anywhere near that price, I decided to pick it up. I'm glad I did, because now it's pushing around $1,000. It's a good game. It's a weird game. It's one of those kind of choose your own adventures, decide your dialogue options type of game. There is no official English re-release for this game. I believe the TurboGrafx Mini re-released with it on there, but only with the Japanese dialogue. And just as a Kojima fan, I'm glad I spent the money on this. And at this point, I don't think it's ever going to get an English re-release again. So I'm moving along to our last game that I'm going to show here today. And this is a holy grail that many collectors know about. If you have this is kind of the one that you show off first just to say, hey, I have this. And that would be Dragoon Saga on the Sega Saturn. Now, most people know about this. This was Sega's answer to Final Fantasy VII, released at the very tail end of the very unsuccessful Sega Saturn's lifespan. And I bought this about 8 years ago, and I bought it for about $350. And I remember it was either between buying this or buying an Xbox One, and I'm very glad I decided to get this because the Xbox One doesn't go for about $1,000 to $1,100 right now. This game is fantastic. No game is worth that price to have, but as a collector, I'm glad I have it. This is the crown jewel in my and many other collectors' collection, and I hope to God it gets a re-release like the first one in series, but we have yet to see that, because as so many games were back then, the code was lost, and that is the reason for its lack of a re-release, as well as the Saturn's very odd internal architecture, something about them not using triangular polygons but quads instead, I believe. However, glad I got my hands on this. Doubt we'll ever see it out in the wild again, and that's it. So those are some of my rarest and most valuable games. I have more to show, but I just wanted to give you guys some of the tippy top ones that I have hanging on top of the collection right now. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.